Greetings, welcome to the Metal Book Tavern. Now, you might have noticed that something is different in this video. I will tell you why. I got myself a new camera. For nearly 1 year I have been using this Sony camera. I don't remember how it's called. I think it's model DCR-SX45E. This is how it's written. This camera works, but it's now old and I needed a new camera. And so I got myself Canon camera. So this is the first video I'm recording with my Canon. And I'm glad to have it. As you know, I am an active Spotify premium user. What I haven't mentioned earlier on my channel is that I have monthly playlists. It means that I have a playlist for each month of the year. I began in June last year. Back then I had a playlist for 2 months, now I have for 1 month. And today I'm going to reveal to what I have been listening to in January 2023. I love to create a new playlist towards the end of the month. And so let's get started. Let's check out my playlist. Of course, I'm going to leave the link in the description as well. So here I am. I'm opening Spotify. Oh, this is my new camera and I have been looking at the screen instead of the objective, instead of the eye. Sorry, I don't remember how it is in English, so I'm sorry. Okay, so here I open my January 2023 playlist. And so the first song is One by Metallica. Darkness imprisoning me, all I see, absolute horror. I discovered that song on TikTok. I absolutely love TikTok. I scroll through TikTok almost every day. And I'm not a huge Metallica fan. But then I saw this song, let's say, trending on TikTok. And that's how I got to listen to One. So the next song is A World of Fantasy by Halloween. Yeah, the lyrics of the song are probably the anthem of all fantasy fans, I guess. But the melody is great as well, I can't say much about the song. So the next one is Bless the Child by Nightwish. It's a live version from End of an Ever live album. Also, the next song is Extreme Aggression by Creator. Now, in 2020, in late 2020, I discovered that I do have a thrashy side. And sometimes when I was in the worst mood, I turned on the entire Extreme Aggression album by Creator and it calmed me down. I even went to sleep listening to Extreme Aggression. It's a very good lullaby for me. I added Extreme Aggression into my all-time favorite songs playlist. Speaking of that playlist, I updated that playlist. I added around 20 more songs and soon there will be a video about these songs. Okay, the next song is Welcome to Dying by Blind Guardian. Next song is Electric Funeral by Black Sabbath. So these two are very good songs, but I don't know what to say about them. So the next song is quite interesting. It's The Wizard by Human Fortress. Oh, it's not a cover of either Uriah Heep or Black Sabbath. It's an original song by Human Fortress. I like that song very much, surprisingly. So the next song is Sabbath Bloody Sabbath by Black Sabbath. So this song opens the best Black Sabbath album, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. And I like it very much. So the next song is Iron Man by Black Sabbath. You know, this is a very simplistic song. You could easily learn the guitar chords for this song. But it's very simple and very memorable. Okay, next song is Where Eagles Dare by Iron Maiden. There are songs in this playlist I can't say anything about. for some reason, except that they're good, but that's boring. Okay, next song is Highway Star by Deep Purple. I do have something to say about that song. I discovered it when I was playing Song Pop. For those who don't know, Song Pop is a game where you guess songs. I actively played the Song Pop in 2020. I still play it, although not as much as I did before. Oh, the next one is interesting. I have a video on my channel named songs that should be on Spotify but aren't. I wanted to include this song in the video, but I did not. It wasn't on Spotify back then, at least it wasn't for me, but it is on Spotify now. So this song is Roderstern by In Extremo and Hansi Kirsch. Okay, so I discovered this song a few years ago. I think it's kind of obvious how I found out about this song, how I found out In Extremo. I think they performed on the Wacken last year, didn't they? I do remember watching the entire performance. For some reason I keep this song in the playlist and I skip this song now. I think that's because there's a dissonance every time I hear that song. A strong dissonance. Can you guess why? Next song is Killing Yourself to Live by Black Sabbath. So the next song is the song that has been in my playlist for 2 years approximately. It's Thunderstruck by AC/DC. The guitar opening is absolutely iconic. Today I added this song into my favorites playlist. Next one is Aqualung by Jethro Tull. I listened to a lot of Jethro Tull back in late 2020. But this song starts off well, but the later half isn't very exciting. So the next song is an iconic song. Everybody knows this. Every rock and metal fan knows this. It's Back in Black by AC/DC. Even if you don't like AC/DC or you don't listen to them much, you still recognize the riff for Back in Black. So the next song is A Forest by Ramin Djawadi. This is a piano version of the song A Forest by Cure. I think it was called The Cure, I don't remember. And it was adapted for the HBO show Westworld. And to some extent, this sounds like Reigns of Castamere from Game of Thrones. Justified given the fact that it's the same composer. I mean, Ramin Djawadi composed for both Westworld and Game of Thrones. Okay, next song is the song that I have been using in my YouTube videos for quite a while. It's Aces High by Kevin MacLeod. Kevin MacLeod is a YouTube god. On the behalf of all YouTubers, I thank this guy for making his wonderful music that we all can use it. Aces High is absolutely iconic. And I'm thinking of adding this into my playlist. Funniest part is that if I add Aces High into my playlist, I will have 2 songs with that name. The first is obviously by Iron Maiden, and the second is this, by Kevin MacLeod. Next song is Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie. So this song tried learning to play on guitar, and I failed. So the next one is The Siren by Nightwish. It's a live version from End of an Era. I can say that it sounds quite different from the original. Next song is Paranoid by Black Sabbath. This is also a very iconic song. I listened to it today before filming this video. Today is January 28th of 2023 and today I listened to Paranoid. So the Black Sabbath riffs are quite simplistic but memorable. You can't forget Paranoid. So the next one is Du riechst so gut by Rammstein. I remember listening to their debut album Herzeleid a few years ago, and I think it's quite an underrated album. Many people think of Rammstein's most iconic songs when they think of Rammstein, but I think Herzeleid in general very good. And I say that as someone who is not a fan of the band. So the next song is also very iconic. It's The Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden. So the opening lines are very memorable. If you don't remember the words, then at least you remember the tone, how it's said. and after a monologue you hear the iconic Number of the Beast song. So the next song is The Kinslayer by Nightwish. This one has great guitar riffs. Oh, the next song is quite surprising. I think it's very underrated. I don't think many people has heard about it. It's Dirty Wings by Nuclear Blast All Stars, Tobias Sammet. In the late 2000s, this album came out. It's called Into the Light from Nuclear Blast All Stars. So this has 10 songs with 10 different vocalists from the 10 different bands. This one is starring Ed Guys and Avantageous Tobias Sammet, and it's quite a good song. This song opens the album and it sounds quite great. So the next song is Son of a Wolf by Powerwolf. This is the second Powerwolf song I heard. While I liked it then, for some reason I skip it right now. I don't know why. So the next song is Diamonds and Rust by Blackmore's Night. It's a quite melodic and very melancholic and sad song. I love Blackmore's Night a lot, but this song isn't my favorite. So the next song is Like Orpheus by Orphaned Land. So here's a funny story. I came across this song in the early 2018. Back then I still used my old iPod Shuffle. And when I added that song into my playlist, I thought I'm going to keep that song for a while and then I'm going to delete it because I don't think it's going to last. Spoiler alert, the song is still there, and when I come across that song in the iPod Shuffle, I still listen to it. At least for the first half, definitely. So the next song is Cliffs of Gallipoli by Sabaton. So I listened to this song quite a lot back in 2017 when I went to university, because I associate Sabaton with my studies, and it was very helpful listening to Sabaton back then. I haven't heard the Cliffs of Gallipoli in a long time. I'm glad to discover it anew, and now it's in my all-time favorite songs playlist. Next song is We Care a Lot by Faith No More. This one has a very interesting opening bass line, accommodated by the drumming. Just listen to the intro, it's very memorable. You hear this bass line, you can't forget it. And then the singer goes, "We care a lot! We care a lot!" So the next song in this playlist is Part of Me by Evanescence. This is from their latest album, The Bitter Truth. I lost track on Evanescence because, in my very controversial opinion, they haven't made anything too interesting since Fallen. Fallen is an amazing album, and I liked their EPs before Fallen. I didn't like the Open Door and their self-titled album, and I haven't checked out since. But then I discovered they were making a new album. It was called The Bitter Truth, and I decided to give it a chance. I liked Part of Me most of all. I think I should add it to my favorites playlist. I don't know, maybe. By the way, the cover of the album looks like very emo punkish to me. Next song is Ghost Division by Sabaton. I haven't heard that song in a long time. I remember listening to it actively during my university days, but not now. The next song is Catholic in the Morning, Satanist at Night by Powerwolf. I listened to that song a lot back in 2015. I loved it. I did notice that there are some similarities between this song and Werewolves of Armenia. So the next song is Dead to the World by Nightwish. This song I discovered 10 years ago, in January 2013. Wow, it has been 10 years, I can't believe it. I didn't listen to this song a lot recently, but now I discovered this song anew, and I'm loving it. Next one is also Nightwish, it's Wanderlust. It's very fast and powerful, I'd say, and memorable. The next song is Voices of the Dead by Creator. This one has a slow beginning. It's just guitar, you hear at the beginning, and it's slow, and then suddenly it goes thrashy. So the next song is A Vote of No Confidence by Primal Fear. And the next song is the song that I for some reason skip, although I listened to it a lot back when I used iPod Shuffle. It's Straight Through the Mirror by Blind Guardian. The next song is Stormbringer by Deep Purple. I listened to this song quite often back in 2021, and now I'm listening to it again. The next song is quite interesting. It's Fast as a Shark by Accept. So this song has one interesting feature. When you open it, it sounds like you're listening to a vinyl, and then you hear a folk song, you feel relaxed, and then suddenly it abrupts, and then you hear an epic metal scream. That's the best part of the song for me, and then there are powerful guitar riffs. Just listen to that. So the next song is also Accept, is Living for Tonight from their Metal Heart album. This is probably one of the few songs of the album that I like. It didn't grow on me that much. Oh, the next song is Twilight of the Gods by Blind Guardian. It's a live version from Live Beyond the Spheres album. I remember that I listened to it a lot back in 2018. And I remember when I discovered this song on YouTube, I listened to it, and then suddenly, it was a huge twist for me. The vocals were lower than in the studio version. I was surprised when I heard that. But it's still epic. Okay, so the next song I discovered on TikTok. This is Dream On by Aerosmith. I don't listen to Aerosmith at all. And if it hasn't been for TikTok, I probably wouldn't have listened to this song. Thank you, TikTok people. So the next song is Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. And then the next song is also by Queen. It's Killer Queen. I ignored this song for a long time. Now I hear that it's surprisingly very good. Okay, the next song is a classical song that takes me back to my childhood. It's Can Can by Jacques Offenbach and Helmut Brandenburg. The deal is that the creators of various cartoons used classical musics inside cartoons. When I was a kid, I watched a lot of Cartoon Network, and there was a lot of classical music in these cartoons, and this is why it's associated with childhood, but it's a great melody all the same. Okay, so the next song came out recently. It's very melancholic, and that's Panopticon Brightside Mix by Peter Gabriel. I have no idea what Panopticon means. But if Peter Gabriel is making a new album, I'd love to hear it. I don't know, I haven't checked out. Okay, the next song is Country Girl by Black Sabbath. I listened to that song a lot back in 2014, and to this day when I hear this, I remember that summer vacation I went to back in 2014. There's a lot of Ozzy versus Dio debates, and now I understood what it's like for me. As a vocalist in general, I prefer Dio, he's an amazing singer. But as a vocalist in Black Sabbath, I prefer Ozzy. Because Ozzy created this very memorable atmosphere of Black Sabbath. That's why when it comes to Black Sabbath, I'd rather side with Ozzy. Sorry, Dio fans. Okay, so the next song is War of Wrath by Blind Guardian. When you listen to Nightfall in Middle Earth, this is what starts the album. You hear this epic swords battle, and then you hear the field is lost, everything is lost. Unfortunately, I don't remember what went on. In December 2022, I decided to revisit Nightfall in Middle Earth. After a long time, I haven't heard that album in years, although I have separate songs in separate playlists. I can tell you that listening to the full album is quite a different experience from listening to songs in playlists. When it comes to Blind Guardian, I often heard the claims that they were better before they made A Night at the Opera, Nightfall in Middle Earth was their peak. And a little bit I understand where this comes from. The deal is that when you listen to Nightfall in Middle Earth, you have this feeling that you're going to grab a sword and go to an epic battle, and then you want to read a lot of fantasy. The early albums, the 90s albums, the Somewhere Far Beyond, Imaginations from the Other Side, and Nightfall in the Middle Earth, they give you this feeling. And the later albums, they are more complex, they're more sophisticated, I'd say. More intelligent. You know, the old albums versus new albums is a debate for another video, but I can say that both eras are good in their own right. Anyway, let's move on. So the next song is Villiers Terrace by Echo and the Bunnymen. I found this song randomly. So the next song is The Memory Remains by Metallica and Marianne Faithfull. I have to confess, I heard the parody of this song first, and I heard it on TikTok, and I listened to the parody more often than to the original, but I like the original as well. So the next song is Scars by Avantasia and Geoff Tate. So this is from Avantasia's new album, A Paranormal Evening with the Moonflower Society. Wow, I said that so easily. I liked this song a lot. Okay, the next song is Call Me by Blondie. I discovered the song randomly. I was simply looking for new music on Spotify and I found Blondie. Or to be exact, only this song. The next song is Golden Brown by The Stranglers. Also found this song when I was looking for new music on Spotify. Okay, next song is I Just Died in Your Arms by Cutting Crew. I think Northern Kings did a cover of that song, didn't they? For those who don't know, the Northern Kings is a supergroup of 4 Finnish different vocalists. They covered infamous pop songs and turned them metal. This song has a very interesting keyboard intro. Okay, so the next song is now one of my favorites. It's Beneath the Wheel by DRI. If the title sounds familiar for you, well, that's because the song is inspired by Beneath the Wheel by Hermann Hesse, and those of you who have been watching my channel recently know that Beneath the Wheel is now one of my favorite moments. I simply decided to check out info on that book on Wikipedia, once again, randomly, and when I turned the English version of the book, the Russian doesn't have this fact mentioned. Then I find out that this song is inspired by the book. I checked that out. It's an 80s thrash metal song, but it isn't very fast, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I like a little bit slower thrash metal, but it's still thrash. There's one line that I remembered best of all. School is a job, but you don't get paid. Yeah. Next song is Himmelsrand by Equilibrium. Okay, next song is White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane. I listened to this song a year ago. Jefferson Airplane is psychedelic rock, I guess. The song is very psychedelic, and and by the title you can tell that this song is inspired by Alice in Wonderland. Okay, the next song is Into the Storm Live by Blind Guardian, but this is from their Imaginations Through the Looking Glass live album. I haven't seen either of their live albums, neither Live Beyond the Spears nor Imagination Through the Looking Glass. I just heard the songs I liked most of all live, decided to listen to it, and I liked them. Maybe I should watch these live albums. So the next song is Green Sleeves, the 25th anniversary new version, or something, by Blackmore's Night. For those who don't know, Blackmore's Night are making the special 25th anniversary version of their first album, Shadow of the Moon. Well, technically it's 26th anniversary version, and I'm waiting for the result. I'd love to hear it. It sounds a little bit different from the original, but it's great nonetheless. And now the final song on this playlist is California Dreaming by the Mamas and the Papas. Once again, I have to thank TikTok for introducing this song to me. I never heard of the Mamas and the Papas until I went to TikTok, and it has a very interesting acoustic opening, but the acoustic opening for some reason made me feel a little bit sad, because I sensed that it would be a band with some kind of backstory. The deal is that it feels very 60s, it feels very a thing of its time, and this song takes you back to the whole hippie era or something. Anyway, that's all. These are all the songs that I have been listening to in January 2023. I will be making these videos about my Spotify playlists every month. At least I'll try to. Of course, there's going to be an update on my favorite songs playlist because I added more. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. What are the songs that you have been listening to in January 2023? Let me know that in the comments. See you next time. Goodbye.